He was the fastest man in the world. So fast, in fact, that during one memorable post-race celebration, friend and fellow competitor Larry Wade once used a fire extinguisher to spray the shoes he had just worn to win. It was a joke, but many people in the audience actually believed that he had run so fast that the friction between his shoes and the track had started a real fire. Today is Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025, and on this day in 1974, Maurice Greene, the American sprinter who remains the only athlete to ever hold world records in both the 60 meters and the 100 meters simultaneously, was born in Kansas City, Kansas. I'm your host, Running Up That Hillary, and you are listening to Today in Running History. Maurice Greene was on fire from the beginning. The youngest of 4 children in a solidly middle-class family, he was born just after a massive heat wave finally broke in the Midwest, with temperatures in both Kansas cities that week getting up to 107 degrees. Maurice's older siblings were all standout athletes, whom Maurice wanted to emulate. The oldest, Ernest, was a junior college 200-meter champion who regularly trounced his youngest sibling when the two raced outside their childhood home. But that changed when Maurice was 17 and beat Ernest for the first time. Not too long after that, Ernest watched Maurice beat Carl Lewis in the Texas relays and knew with certainty that his little brother was something special. When he started high school, Maurice Greene had focused primarily on football and didn't fully commit to track until he had to choose between college scholarships in both sports. Though he racked up 7 state championship titles between indoor and outdoor track in high school, and decided to turn down the college football scholarship in favor of a track offer from the University of Kansas, Greene ultimately did not run collegiately. Instead, Greene trained independently under the guidance of his former high school coach, Al Hobson. But after disappointing seasons in 1995 and 1996, including not making the U.S. Olympic team, Maurice finally left Kansas. Despite his setbacks, those who knew Greene at the time say that he never lost his discipline or his belief in himself and his abilities. He joined the elite Hudson Smith International Group in Los Angeles under the guidance of Coach John Smith. By that time, John Smith had already trained multiple Olympic medalists, and it was on the HSI team that Maurice Greene had his breakthrough moment. At the 1997 World Championships, Maurice Greene won the 100-meter title, and the Big Mo era had officially begun. During the indoor season of 1998, Greene broke the 60-meter world record, then broke it again 2 days later. That record would stand for more than 19 years. In 1999, Maurice Greene added another 3 World Championship medals to his collection, becoming the first athlete to win both the 100 and 200 meters at World Champs. That June, he also broke the world record in the 100 meters, making him the first and only person to hold the world records in the 60 and 100 meters at the same time. I'm going to get to the 2000 Olympics in a minute, but first I want to talk a bit more about Maurice Greene's 100-meter record. So if y'all watched the Chicago Marathon last fall or read any sports news in the week that followed, you likely saw Ruth Chepngetich win in a truly unbelievable world record time of 2:09:56. This past week, it was revealed that Chepngetich tested positive for banned substances at the time of the Chicago Marathon. There's already been a lot of commentary on this, but one thing that has really stood out to me is something that Des Linden and Kara Goucher talked about on the bonus episode of their podcast this week. Chepngetich doping herself to a world record is not a victimless crime. It also means that the record was unjustly taken from the previous holder, Ethiopia's Tigst Assefa. Assefa has faced doping allegations, but none of them have ever turned out to be true. She was drug tested after setting her world record in 2023, came back clean, and then had to watch another woman cheat her way to a new world record the following year. And the worst part of all of this is that they're allowing Chepngetich record to stand. Okay, but we're here to talk about Maurice Greene, so why do I bring this up? Well, In 2002, while injured and sitting in the stands, Maurice Greene watched as fellow American Tim Montgomery broke Greene's 100-meter world record. And I'm sure that it would have stung regardless, but it later turned out that Montgomery had been on all sorts of performance-enhancing drugs at the time. At the end of 2005, Montgomery's world record was retroactively nullified, but Jamaican Asafa Powell had just broken that one legitimately. So this did not make Greene the record holder either. And honestly, it just sucks knowing that Maurice Greene should have held that title until 2005, but that 3 years of world record holder status was taken from him by another athlete cheating. We will talk more about Tim Montgomery and his training partner, Marion Jones, and the massive doping scandal that they were involved in on an upcoming episode. But for now, let's get back to Maurice Greene. Okay, so now it's the year 2000, and during some very toasty U.S. Olympic trials in California that summer, Maurice Greene won gold in the 100 meters. He was also selected to represent the U.S. in the 4x100 meter relay. It was also at this point that the IAF updated their logo to the image of a man running on a track with his arms raised in triumph. And it turns out that that logo was based upon the likeness of Maurice Greene. It remained the logo until 2019 when they rebranded to World Athletics. That September, the world gathered in Sydney and the Olympics began. The 100 meters was Greene's first event, and over the course of 2 days, he took first place in all 3 qualifying rounds and won gold at the final. A few days later, the qualifying rounds for the relay began, and Greene's team finished first in both. At the final for that race, he ran the anchor leg, and along with teammates John Drummond, Bernard Williams, and Brian Lewis, won the gold. When the indoor track season began in the U.S. the following spring, Maurice Greene exactly tied the 60-meter record he had set 3 years earlier. And that same year, he won his second world championship title in the 100 meters. In 2002, he was injured, and that was when he unfairly lost his 100-meter world record to Tim Montgomery, the doper and subject of my previous rant. Unfortunately, that injury persisted, and he missed most of the 2003 track season as well. But by the time the 2004 Olympic trials rolled around, Maurice Greene was ready to get back on top. He once again took first place in the 100 meters and was selected to represent the U.S. in the 4x100 meters as well. The following month, at the Athens Olympics, Greene ended up winning the bronze medal in the 100 meters and the silver medal in the 4x100, bringing his full Olympic medal tally to 4. Maurice Greene retired from professional running after that and went on to make a few random television appearances. He was on the game show Identity, the reality show Blind Date, and he competed in the 7th season of Dancing with the Stars. More recently, Greene moved to Gilbert, Arizona, which also happens to be the town where I grew up, and he coaches track and football at American Leadership Academy nearby. He also helps his hometown baseball team, the Kansas City Royals, to improve running techniques during their spring training when they are in Arizona. And then just last month, a teenager in California was disqualified after emulating Greene's famous fire extinguisher stunt when she won the state title in the 400 meters. Greene, along with 1,700 others, called for her to be reinstated, but as of today, she has not been. So I guess the lesson is that the early 2000s were just a different time. Well, guys, that is all I have for y'all today. Thank you for being here again. And please make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, send links of your favorite episodes to everyone in your phone. And then join me tomorrow as we head to 1908 for one of the most controversial first place finishes in marathon history. I'm your host, Running Up That Hillary, and this has been Today in Running History. Today is Wednesday, July 23rd. Here's the intro, here it goes. Like, how would you know where to put the intro if I didn't do that every single time, right? I'm gonna get to the... No. I should do like tongue twisters. All right. Went on to make a few random... Oh no. And... I'm your host, Running Up That Hillary, and no, you're not listening because it's over. This has been. Why do I even have to write that down? I can't do that without reading it. Do, 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 do. See, that way you know where the outro goes. Do, 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 do.